First at 6, significant developments tonight in an exclusive story Denver7 broke yesterday at 5, now getting national and international attention.
Denver7 Investigates has been working to get answers after as many as 20 pilots en route to Denver International lost the ability to communicate with air traffic control.
It happened Monday afternoon during a transmitter outage at the Denver Air Traffic Control Center in Longmont. The latest in a series of troubling incidents at airports across the nation. Tonight, Denver7 Investigates is asking the Federal Aviation Administration tough questions to hold them accountable and keep travelers safe.
All right, our chief investigative reporter, Tony Kowaleski, broke this story, and you got the FAA's response finally today.
Yeah, good evening, Shannon and Jessica. New information. We now know the FAA did not inform the public about this concerning radio blackout until we asked for confirmation yesterday. We asked for an interview also, and the FAA declined and instead sent a statement that included the Longmont Traffic Control Center experienced a loss of communication for approximately 90 seconds on Monday. Both transmitters that cover the segment of airspace went down. And the FAA is investigating. Clearly, there's a debate over the total time of that blackout. Our sources saying it lasted around 5 to 6 minutes. Reaction today from a retired air traffic controller and from a congressman in Washington, D.C.
It doesn't really matter how long the radios were out. It just speaks to the fact that the radio communication was lost.
It's very concerning, and that reporting this morning adds to, I think, the concern of members of this committee. Now, we know that there are staffing and equipment problems at air traffic control. We know that the problems have gone back decades in some cases.
Clearly a difference between the radio blackout time the FAA claims and what we've heard from our sources, but experts telling us whether it was 90 seconds or 5 minutes, it's still concerning to pilots in the air. Our reports now resonating across the country and across the world, everybody wanting more details from the FAA.
This is concerning for everyone, Tony. And I know you sent a list of questions over to the FAA that still need to be answered. So what pieces of the puzzle are we missing here?
Well, we're asking the questions we think the public wants to know. And frankly, our questions are relatively straightforward and should produce quick answers. Now, 3 days after the incident, here's what we want to know. What was the cause of the two transmitters going out on Monday? When did the two transmitters go offline and how long were they offline? Why did the FAA or Longmont Center elect not to report or acknowledge this outage to the public until it was reported by Denver7 Investigates on Wednesday? And finally, can you provide copies of the recordings from the 3 frequencies used on Monday? We sent those questions out more than 5 hours ago. Still no answers. And if we hear those recordings, we can confirm that time.
Absolutely. So to the transmitters we talked about that were affected, are those back up and running?
And a very fair question, Shannon, and we asked that question and we were told earlier today that the 2 transmitters went back online yesterday afternoon after at least 2 full days of being offline.
All right, continued good work on the story, Tony. Thank you very much for helping keep us all safe.
We'll stay on it.
All right, and despite a tumultuous year for air travel, a new poll shows that most people still believe flying is safe. This survey was conducted by the Associated Press and NORC at the University of Chicago. It found 64% of Americans think plane travel is safe, but that number is actually down from last year. It also found 20% say flying is unsafe, an 8% increase from last year. According to this poll, people have more confidence in pilots to keep them safe than they do the federal government agencies to maintain safety. This poll was conducted in January after the American Airlines passenger jet and an Army helicopter collided in Washington.